Hello friends, I am back here with my favorite YouTube collab buddy, Brian.
Hey!
Hey! We're gonna talk about what to do when you feel like you are stuck. Maybe you feel like you're in a rut and like your life isn't going anywhere. Maybe you just feel like you're not advancing, or maybe there's some kind of mental illness aspect to it. Whatever it is, we all feel like that sometimes. Brian is one of my biggest supporters and allies and friends when I have those moments.
Oh my god, same. I don't know how I would be here if it wasn't for you.
Oh goodness. So Brian,
Yep.
What are some of the things that you do when you feel stuck?
Well, I have this whole list of like, eat fresh foods and go running and do yoga and meditate, and like, that's all well and good, but like, usually step one is like lay on that couch with like Facebook on one thing and like Instagram on the other for like 6 hours. Recently what I've been doing is like, step one is just being like, I'm sad, or I'm feeling depressed, or I'm in a rut, and just sort of like accepting that and like letting go of any sort of expectation of like productivity. I know I'm like often like super type A, like I have to be driven, and so like I have to just be like, it's okay if I do nothing today. I'm gonna try and make like small incremental things, like instead of like refreshing Twitter, maybe I'll watch a movie, which like seems like not totally scary and undoable, but also like is maybe better than refreshing Twitter.
Right. And that's so true, right? Because like, so everybody says, and it's like also clinically proven, like, yes, exercising will make you feel good and better in your mental health, and eating right and doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
And that's totally true, but that's also not always the kind of thing that you want to do or can bring yourself to do when you're feeling bad. So it's this like process of negotiating, like, well, I know that these are things that perhaps for some people help, or for me on a different day they would help. For me, I know that sometimes I will wake up in the morning and I'll say, okay, I'm going to the gym today.
Yeah.
Today is my gym day, however many days a week I want to do it, it's today. And then if I get to like 5 o'clock and I don't feel good or I'm tired or whatever, it's like, oh, I failed at the one thing I was excited about today.
Yeah.
And that's really terrible.
I know that feeling so well.
So sometimes my favorite thing to do is to just like pick a part of my life that I am having trouble with. For the last many months, I've been sort of in and out of YouTube and kind of down on myself about that.
Me too.
Pick a thing. Doesn't have to be the thing that's bothering you the most, just a thing that is positive and that you can have productive control over. So for me, like, I did that about like YouTube videos a couple days ago. I was like, I'm feeling totally like spirally and not good. I'm just gonna write down some ideas for some YouTube videos. And that was not the biggest thing on my mind at that moment, but it's a thing that will make me feel good when it's done. It's like, I don't have to have my whole life in order right now, but here's one little thing that I have committed myself to do, and then we'll see what tomorrow brings.
I know for me, like, it's so much easier to like, once like the getting started is the hardest part. Like, getting myself off of that couch is like the hardest part. That like, once I'm in motion, it's much easier. So my new thing these days is to like pick things that take less than 2 minutes, because like everyone has 2 minutes and like 2 minutes are not that long. So like, I should write, but I don't know what to write about, or that'll take too long, or like I'm running late to work, I don't have time to do that. Like, just 2 minutes. So whether it's like journal for 2 minutes, exercise for 2 minutes, or meditate for 2 minutes, or like, I'll even count like eating, like eat one fruit is like not 2 minutes, but like if I eat like nothing, if I eat nothing else, like I'll have an apple today. Those little things, then like, I'm like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Like I can also like, I can journal for 2 minutes and I can exercise for 2 minutes, and then I'm like, that starts me going, and then like so there's like nothing that I can use to talk myself out of it. It's been huge for me.
So like, what are the reasons that we find ourselves in ruts, and like, how do we deal with those in our brain spaces? Because I know for me, like, if I'm in one of those stuck moods, one thing will go wrong and I'm like, I'm the worst person in the world. The other day I found I put on a sweater and it had a little hole in it that like got messed up in the dryer, and I was like, oh my god, I shouldn't have put this in the dryer. I'm so bad. It was all my fault. This is terrible. And my girlfriend had to like stop me in my tracks and say, no, stop blaming yourself. It's a sweater from H&M that costs like $10.
Yeah, this is like a totally weird thing, but like when I feel like I'm starting to spiral, something my therapist taught me, which is a whole other video about my therapist that I'm in love with, but like physically resting my head. So like when I'm starting to get stressed out, and I touch my face a lot when I'm stressed out. I do this in YouTube videos sometimes too, you'll see. Actually like putting my head down on like a table or the floor or my desk or whatever, and like just like resting my, like physically resting my head for like a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, when I start to feel myself going down that spiral, that can help me to stop from totally like losing the rest of my day.
And this is funny because we're sort of like looking at both ends of the spectrum right now. So there's like the moments where you're stressed out because you're like lethargic and just feeling bad about yourself because you're not productive, or maybe you're in one of those overly hyper, like need to be productive, feeling stressed about how much you have to do moods. And that's why I love that you said the thing about 2 minutes, because there's that website, donothingfor2minutes.com.
What?
Yeah!
No way!
It's a godsend. It's my favorite thing.
What is it?
I think it's literally donothingfor2minutes.com, numeral 2 if I'm not mistaken. And it's just like a picture of a sunset over a beach or something, and it's like you put your headphones in and it is like wavy beach sounds.
I love it.
And there's a countdown, there's a timer on it, and if you touch your mouse or your keyboard or anything, it stops you and it starts over again.
Because I love to multitask.
Exactly. So it's like if you want to cheat and like be on your phone while you have it on your computer, then like whatever, that's your MO, but it's like if you're on your computer.
Bookmarking that.
Yeah, 2 minutes is all it takes to just recenter yourself.
Yeah.
To bring it full circle, so I introduced Brian as, did I say life coach at the beginning?
You did not.
I
You just said
I think of him as my life coach in my brain. We've only known each other for like coming up on 3 years now.
Has it only been that long?
Yeah.
Feels like a lifetime.
I also find that I have a couple of friends who are just like my mental health go-to friends. That has been really helpful to have like a particular person that, you know, you can go to and say like, hey, I'm having a day. You don't have to respond, but just letting you know I'm having a day.
What's great is that like I can be like, I'm sad, like no response needed, or like I'm in a funk, no response needed, or like, can you like encourage me? Can you like bring me food? Can you wake up with me in the morning and go on a walk with me so I get out of bed? Like, can you give me a stern talking to pep talk because I need a kick in the butt right now? Like, being able to have a few of those people, and also like being able to say, articulate like, here is something you can do for me, has been a world of difference.
So those are some of our ideas and things that we do. I said at the beginning, so there's many causes and things that can happen that put us into funks. There is no way to be to the help of a mental health professional, so if you think that you are in need of one of those, then please seek that help out if you are able, and get your support system to help you do that.
I've spent a lot of time worrying, like, do I need a therapist? And like, if you're thinking maybe do I, just try it out.
Just do it.
Like, there's no like level of sad that you have to be or anxious or whatever. If you're thinking maybe this would help, just try it out. If you have anything that you would like to add to the conversation that help you when you are in a funk or in a rut, please add them to the comment section. In this very same living room about an hour ago, Brian and I made another video which was much less serious and funnier than this one. It's the opposite end of the spectrum. It's the total opposite. We did the Chubby Bunny Challenge, but we did it with a twist, so you will have to go to Brian's channel to check that out. All of his information is below. And that is it, so thank you so much for watching. Follow, subscribe, do all those things. Thank you so much, Brian, for letting me sit in your living room and make videos with you. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.